All right, welcome to the third part of our core approach to core strengthening. So the first part was, does your core fire? The second part was, how do you get your core to fire? Now we're going to go over the third part. The way we progress core stabilization is once we know that it is facilitated or firing, we go from a stability core where nothing's moving, the trunk is stable, and you try to hold that stable position. Then we go to a dynamic core where the actual trunk is moving and you're controlling the trunk dynamically. And then we get into a power core. So in this third part of the series, what we're going to do is called that stability core strength. So we're going to go over 3 examples of what that means, but the principle in general is the trunk is stable and what's around it is moving, and you're trying to hold that stable position, trying not to go into a lordotic position, excessive trunk flexion, and trying to stay stable on that base of support. Okay, so the first great example of a core stability strength where the trunk's not moving is a single leg bridge. Great for glute med activation, glute max activation, as well as getting that trunk stable as things around it are moving. So what you want to really focus on here, if you're working on a left-legged single leg bridge, is you want level hips. You don't want to get a lot of low back extension. So the cue that's great to give for your client or patient is to really push up from your hips without any sort of rolling of your back. There should be no movement, pelvic tilt of your spine. So Jeff, can you demonstrate what a single leg bridge would look like? Good. So usually what's going to happen, you come back down. Can you show me with a little bit of a pelvic drop on that right side? That's kind of your gold standard bad single leg bridge. That's coming usually from glute med weakness, and one where you do a lot of lumbar extension. Can you show me that? Is where you then basically aren't using your hips, you're using your lumbar spine to get that. So you really want to zone in on hip stability, neutral spine. Second exercise that's great for stability or anti-motion training of the trunk is a chop. You can do chops, lifts, different variations, half kneel, tall kneel, standing, split stance, one leg. You know, the smaller the base of support, the more motion you're doing, the harder it is to stabilize. What we're going to show you here is a traditional half kneel chop. You want to have the back ankle dorsiflexed on the toes, front ankle dorsiflexed as well, nice and flat. You should be in perfect alignment, square to the shoulders. And the goal here is to keep the arms moving, trunk stable, bringing that rope down to his side in a diagonal chopping fashion. Jeff here is going to show some areas that you commonly see in a poor one. Let's go for it. Good. Heavy arm, a lot of trunk motion. An ideal one is the arms are going to be completely extended and the trunk isn't going to move and it's just going to be almost like a shoulder motion. Again, trying to keep the trunk from moving is the goal. A way to even make that easier is you can decrease that line of pull, bring it to your chest, and then chop down. Again, whatever variation you do, the less trunk motion, particularly that excessive lordosis extension of your lumbar spine, the better. So the last exercise that we're going to show you on the stability or anti-motion training of the core is an elevated side plank. You can do this on any side, on your stomach. There's many variations. We're going to show you to do an abduction version and an adduction version to get more glute or adductor involvement. So what you have them do is put both feet up on the bench. You're cueing them to get a straight line from the lateral of their ankle, lateral malleolus, to their shoulders. You want that shoulder rotated back, no dip in the hip. And then from there, they're going to put a little kink or raise that leg up and hold that position there. A good gold standard is about a 40-second hold in that position. You don't want to see the hips dip or any sort of motion like that, or a trunk rotation. And Jeff, if you come on down, can you show them an adduction one on this leg? This is great for your groin strain patients. You can do it eccentrically if you'd like, but same principles of hips forward, shoulder back, holding, goal is 40 seconds. You can even add a band around the hips to give them that external feedback of pushing into the band, because they'll typically have a kink in their hips.